We've all heard that phrase, right? You've got to play the money game to win. And it sounds so simple, you know? Just learn the rules, make the right moves, and you'll come out on top. But what if that's the totally wrong way to even think about it? What if the real problem isn't how you play, but the game itself? You know, this quote from Professor Jang just hits it right on the head. Think about it. If someone else is setting all the rules, why on earth would they invite you to a game they expect to lose? It's like a casino, right? The house always has an edge. The entire system is designed for you to lose over the long run. And that, right there, is the core of the issue. For way too long, the financial system that we're all a part of wasn't built for us, for the individual. It was built to benefit the big institutions, the banks, the huge firms. It's their game, and we're just playing on their turf. So that leads to a pretty scary question. Are we just stuck? Are we destined to lose in a game we just can't win? Well, the answer is no. But to even have a fighting chance, you have to understand exactly how the board is tilted against you from the very beginning. See, the old system is designed to keep you feeling confused, maybe a little overwhelmed, and definitely dependent. It wraps everything in complicated jargon and layers of complexity, making you feel like you absolutely need an expert to handle your money. And that dependency, that's where it gets its power. But here's the secret. You don't actually have to play by their rules. You can choose to play a completely different game. So how do we do that? How do we change our whole approach? Well, it all starts with this really powerful mental model, one that Simon Sinek talks about a lot. We have to understand the difference between two kinds of games, finite and infinite. And I'm telling you, this one little distinction, it changes absolutely everything. Okay, so a finite game is the one we all know. Just think of a football game. You've got known players, a clear set of rules, a clock that runs out, and at the end of it all, there's a winner and a loser. The entire point of playing is to win. Simple as that. An infinite game, though, is a whole different beast. Think about business, or even life itself. Players come and go, the rules are always changing, and there is no finish line. You can't win at business. The goal isn't to win, but to just keep playing, to stay in the game for as long as you possibly can. And this is where you really see the mindset split. A finite player is trying to beat the competition. They're focused on short-term stuff, like quarterly reports or stock prices. But the infinite player, they have a totally different goal, to outlast everyone else. They're playing for the long-term vision, building resilience so they can handle any shocks that come their way. And that one shift in how you see things, that is the key to your entire financial future. So this brings us to a really critical realization about money. Building wealth is not a competition. The moment you start treating it like a finite game with winners and losers, you've pretty much already lost. The real goal is to play an infinite game where the ultimate prize is your own personal freedom. The investor Naval Ravikant frames this perfectly. He says people are basically playing one of two games. First, you've got the status game. This is what's called a zero-sum game. Think about climbing the corporate ladder. For you to get that big promotion, somebody else has to miss out. It's about your rank. But then there's the wealth game. This is a positive-sum game. You can create a new business, a new product, add real value to the world, and get wealthy without taking a single thing from anybody else. In this game, we can all win. And this just redefines the entire goal, doesn't it? Real wealth isn't about the high-status job or the fancy car. It's about owning assets. You know, pieces of businesses, real estate, things that make money for you, even when you're sleeping. And why is that so important? Because true wealth buys the one thing you can never get back, your time, your freedom. Okay, so we've made the mental shift. We're thinking infinite, not finite. Great. But what's the playbook? How do you actually put this stuff into practice? Well, it really boils down to mastering 3 fundamental skills. The playbook itself is actually pretty simple. It's just 3 steps. You need to get really good at earning money. Then, you need to get even better at keeping that money. And finally, you have to learn how to grow it. Let's break them down. First up, earning. And look, this isn't just about trading your time for a paycheck. In the infinite game, earning is about constantly developing your skills so you can solve bigger, more valuable problems for other people. The more value you can offer, the more you're going to earn. Second, and honestly, this is the one that trips up so many people, is keeping your money. I mean, you can have a massive income, but if you're spending every dime, you're just on a faster, more stressful hamster wheel. That's why your savings rate, The percentage of your income that you actually keep is so much more important than the size of your salary. And if you need a reality check, get this. A recent survey found that 26% of Americans have absolutely no emergency savings. Zero. Nothing. That makes it completely impossible to play the long game because one unexpected car repair or medical bill can wipe you out. Keeping money isn't just about saving, it's about building resilience. And finally, we get to growing your money. This is the skill that really builds that freedom we were talking about. It means taking the money you've managed to keep and putting it to work for you by investing it in assets. When you own a piece of a business, like a stock, you own a tiny share of all its future profits. You are no longer just renting out your time. All right, so earning, keeping, and growing, those are the skills. But playing an infinite game needs more than just skills. It needs a strategy. So let's look at the key principles for playing the long game with your money. This is where something like game theory becomes so incredibly helpful. As the authors of The Art of Strategy explain, it's all about learning to think forward to where you want to end up, say financial freedom, and then reasoning backward from there to figure out the exact moves you need to be making today to get there. So here are 5 huge principles for your long game strategy. First, think long term. Be willing to look like you're doing something weird or even foolish in the short term. Second, own equity. You're just not going to get rich by only renting out your time. You have to own a piece of something. Third, avoid ruin at all costs. Never ever make a single bet that could take you completely out of the game. Fourth, find leverage. Use capital, code, or media to scale your impact way beyond the hours you can work. And finally, number 5, play with integrity. In an infinite game, your reputation is your most valuable asset. It's so easy to get lost in all the numbers and the strategies, isn't it? But we have to remember the whole point of playing this new game. What is the real prize we're actually after? Because I can tell you it's not just a bigger number in a bank account. This quote just says it all perfectly. The real prize isn't the money itself. It's what the money can buy you. And that is freedom. The freedom to control your own time, to work on things you truly care about, and to live your life on your own terms. That is the real win. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question. Take a look at your own financial life, your mindset, your habits, your strategy. Ask yourself, are you playing a short-term, zero-sum game, just trying to win? Or are you building a resilient long-term strategy designed to last? Because the answer to that question is going to define your entire financial future.